So Hannah, thank you for being here and being willing to share your story with everybody. I think it's so important for everybody to know and hear your story because I know that so many people are going to be able to relate to what you're saying, what you've been through, and then they'll get to hear about your beautiful transformation that you got through the RTT Hypnotherapy.
Cool.
So why don't you just begin by telling everybody a little bit about yourself and how this journey started for you?
So I compete in competitive bodybuilding, but also, I work out like as for fun, leisure, but have the competitive side of it. But with that comes like on social media, like eyes from everybody that you have to be this perfect person, like you follow this perfect diet, you don't do anything like outside of the norm or not healthy. So I guess last year, which I didn't realize that I always struggled with this, I guess, until I became like hyper aware of what I put in my body. But last year I was struggling so badly with like food and like binge eating, and with that came like anxiety and a lot of other things. Well, I'd seen you, and I'd seen previously that somebody had had a session with you for something completely different. But, I was at like wit's end. I was like, I don't know, like, should I reach out to her and see if maybe like she can help me with this? And then like I seen you and you were like, how are you? And I was like, oh, you really want to know? I was like, you really want to know how I am? You're like, and I was like, I'm just like really anxious and stuff. And I wouldn't really come up off of like what was wrong, but like that was bleeding into all like other areas of my life.
Aspects of your life.
Yeah. And I told you, and you were like, I think you could benefit from a session for me. And I remember trying to talk to you about it. I was just like crying. Like we were just having a normal conversation. I was like crying. And I was like, well, funny that you say that, because I thought about reaching out to you, like, and after you were like, yeah, I really think maybe you would benefit from this, I was like, sold. I was like, it was just like meant to be that I seen you today.
Yes.
Because I thought about it, but I was embarrassed.
Right.
More or less.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were friends too.
Oh yeah.
So, but we were new friends. So, you weren't in that phase in our friendship yet where you felt comfortable divulging these really personal things. And I get that, but the thing is that you were finally at your wit's end with trying to deal with it, and you knew that you had to do something. And that's what happens with everybody that comes here. They have tried everything to stop doing what they don't want to do anymore, but they can't control.
Like I had tried the talk therapy.
Yes.
I had tried journaling. I had tried like praying about it. I had tried like medication for like anxiety, and it just was like out of control.
Yeah.
Like continuous stress all the time from it.
Before the RTT, what was life like for you, like emotionally and physically, mentally? What was it like?
Well, I was like very emotional, but with that said, I would internalize everything. So I would put on this front, like, that doesn't hurt my feelings, but like I knew it would. But it was almost like I was gaslighting myself into being like, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay. Like that doesn't, and I did that for years.
Yes.
Probably like 5+ years would do that. Like relationships wouldn't work out. I'd be like, okay, I don't care, whatever. Like no emotion to it.
Right.
Somebody like in my family maybe would like upset me, or a friend would like upset me. I'd be like, I don't care, like whatever. So I was cold, I guess, like to everybody else, but inside I was kind of just for so long like suppressing everything.
Yeah.
And then obviously like like very, very often would like binge eat. So like with that comes like the rush of doing it. And then afterwards, like the guilt, the sadness. And I remember one day like thinking, I was like, this is literally going to be my life forever. Like I can't get a rein on this. Like I'm going to continuously just be sad and upset. Like hate the way that I feel, hate the way that I look. Like, and I was just like, I cannot do this. Like I can't live like this.
Right. We kind of just went over this, but just a little bit more detail. Like where was the point that you got to that made you think, I cannot do this anymore. I have got to do the hypnotherapy.
I guess like I thought maybe this was something like I could handle myself, or like this was something temporary. But like the anxiety that came with it and like all the other emotions that came with it, I was just so frustrated. I was like, I do not know what else to do. And I had seen one of my friends had a session with you for something different.
Yes.
But, you know, like I did my research and I was like, I wonder if she's ever dealt with somebody who's had like an eating disorder, like this and that. And I was like, at this point, like, I'm willing to try whatever it may be that will help me, you know, like get over that hump or whatever it is to be better, be healthy, be happy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Because you were like just at your wit's end.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what happens with almost all of 98% of the clients that come to me have gotten to that point that you were at. It's just like, what I'm doing is not working. I've done everything. I've tried everything. I've done, not you, but most people, like they've done the medication, they've done the talk therapy, they've done, you know, all the other things, and they've run through the gambit, and they don't even know if hypnotherapy is going to work because they don't know if hypnotherapy is bullshit or not.
That was my thing. And like, no disrespect to you, but
I get it.
Familiar with it.
Yeah.
And like, I knew what you had done, but I also like wasn't super familiar. And and if you've never had an experience like that, you're kind of like, what is this?
Right.
And like, I tell people now, I'm like, listen, like you all may think I'm crazy, but like, listen, this absolutely like changed my life, changed my outlook on a lot of things. Like I always tell people, I'm like, I don't know what it did, but it unlocked something that was inside of me all along that I needed, and that was there, and I found it. And I was like, I was like, you all can think I'm crazy, but you need to experience it for yourself. It's one of those things you have to do to know what it is.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Because the modality of hypnotherapy I do is even different than your general hypnotherapy. What I do is RTT, the Rapid Transformational Therapy. And I think that is that makes a huge difference in your results. And of course I'm partial to it because it's what I do, but it's just because I've seen the changes it makes in people. And it just, all the cognitive tools we use when someone's in session just makes sense. We have to process this stuff. Just giving suggestions isn't always enough. And I feel like we needed to get to the core of what was driving that behavior for you.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So, can you describe what binge eating looked like for you before your session?
Oh gosh.
What were those moments like when you were just out of control?
So like, it was almost like an out of body experience. It's like, okay, everybody loves food, and I feel like I really like food, just like anybody else. But it was like, I could not think. Like, it's like all mind would quit working. Like, I could not think, and I would just be doing this and this and this, and it would get so foggy, and I would just like eat and eat and eat, and like I remember one time specifically, I might have told you about this. I remember I was like, oh, I'm going to go to Wendy's. Like, I remember I could not get there fast enough. Yeah. Like, and like, I'm sitting here like ordering my food, and I'm like shaking in the drive-thru because I'm so excited after I've literally ate like a bunch of food already. And then I eat it in like 5 seconds and I don't even remember it. So then like the aftermath, like you physically feel bad. Like you mentally feel bad. Like the next day, like I felt bad. And then like all the anxiety that like comes with it. It's like, oh my gosh, like why did I do that for like a temporary, like I would say like dopamine hit. Yeah. It was like dopamine chasing. I was like, why would I do that to temporarily feel good in the moment, to feel like shit like 30 minutes later and for days. And then the thing is like after that I was like, I'm never doing this again. Like I'm never doing this again. No, like 3 days later doing the same shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think it was ever like an emotional trigger that sent you there?
Yes. Yes, because once I like reflected on it after my session with you and like we got to the root issue of it, I would always like emotionally eat, even like when I was younger. But I didn't realize it. And like every time I would be like maybe in a bad relationship or like bad emotionally, I would feel like, oh, let's do this to comfort ourselves. But more than just like, oh, let's treat ourselves to a piece of cake because we feel bad. It's like, let's treat ourselves to like 10 pieces of cake and like all of this and that. And to me, that was comforting in the moment.
Yeah. Right.
I just could not think straight, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
So.
A lot of people think binge eating is about food, but it's rarely about the food. Like, what was it about for you?
Well, I tried, I would say like not dealing with my emotions. And like once we had our session, a lot of it came back to not feeling like good enough, or maybe like my emotional needs not being met, or like frustration, or like disrespected, things along those lines. And like I remember months and months after like we figured it out, I remember I reached out to you and I was like, I'm not really sure why I'm telling you this, but this happened in my life. Like someone in my life has hurt me. I was like, and I would have those feelings that I would have before I would binge eat. But what I would do is I would stop and I would evaluate, and I'd be like, okay, let's be self-aware. Like, you're going to eat, like be in the moment. And I was like, I'm not sure if maybe that's what's triggering me to act like this, but I feel like you're the right person for me to tell about this.
Yeah.
And then like come to find out, like when all those emotions were sorted through and came to a head, I was like, that's 100% like what I was doing. But like the difference between present day and like this time last year is like I can be like, okay, that's what's causing you to want to behave in that manner, rather than like acting on it and doing it. Like then I would just be like, oh, whatever, like I'm gonna do this because I feel like it, rather than dealing with the emotions like or the situation at hand.
Dealing with the emotion that was
Triggering
sending you on a spiral.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you learned how to deal with that.
Yeah, and I actually could recognize, like, that's what was actually wrong. Back then, I was like, whatever, like, this person pissed me off, fuck this, like, I'm just going to do this. Yeah. And the problem was never dealt with. It was kind of just suppressed.
Yes,
exactly. As I'd done forever.
Right. Just shove it down. I don't want to look at it. I'm just going to do this instead. It serves as like just a huge distraction, right? Like I've got to make myself feel better in another way. And this is a way, like you said, that you realize when you look back now that it's things that you had done even when you were younger. You didn't realize that's what it was. And now it's just a pattern of behavior that's followed you and gotten stronger over time. And but it was just the way you dealt with your emotions. You just didn't know how to. Those really powerful emotions, that we carry from childhood, like that feeling you had of I'm not enough. And a big one that was in your session was disrespected. Yeah. It was a big one, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. And I till this day, I've always said, like, I don't do well with, like, being disrespected.
Yes.
And it makes sense.
Yes.
I just never, it took that to realize that that's what triggered me to act that way.
Right.
To partake in that behavior.
Yes. And that was a beautiful moment too. Just on the binge eating alone. And we know that, like we just said, that disrespected feeling. Like, how did that really affect, before your session, your connection with yourself and your confidence in yourself?
Oh my gosh. Well, So I always felt like I needed to put on, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people put on this persona on social media that I'm like so happy. I'd always get on there and be like, I'm so happy. I'm doing so great. Like everything is awesome in my life. Oh, hell no. Yeah. Hell no. I was so sad. I hated the way like that I looked. Yeah. Even like aside from like being in the gym, like just in like every day, like I wouldn't want to go places like with my dad, like go and do stuff socially at work. Like I would wear like super loose clothes, like wear super loose scrubs. Or if I did go to the gym, like I would wear stuff that was like super loose. Like I couldn't stand the way that I would look. Like I couldn't stand the way that I felt. Like, and I felt like if I would go and do stuff, like maybe like with my family or my friends, I was never present. Like I was there, right? Like, mentally, like not present, because I was constantly like, oh my gosh, I hate the way I look. I wonder if they're judging me, like this and that. And I used to put so much of my self-worth in the opinion of others, when really, like, that does not matter. Like you taught me, or hypnotherapy taught me, self-worth comes from within.
Yeah.
And the sooner that I realized that and like believed that, the better off I was. Like I was just like, you can say whatever you want about me. Like, you can say, like, I'm ugly or that I've gained weight or, like, this and that. But as long as I understand and I accept myself and I'm like, oh, hey, like, I think this about myself. Like, I think I'm great. Yeah. Nobody could tell me shit. That was the end of that.
Turn that right around.
I was like, you're allowed to have your opinion, but in my eyes, it's wrong.
Oh my God.
Like,
and I love that so much.
Yeah.
I love that. That's what you should be, because you are amazing. Do you remember what it was like going into hypnosis for the first time? Were you nervous or just curious?
well, I remember driving over here and I was like, she said, like, because you come back to scenes in your life.
Yes.
And I had watched, like, interviews that you had done with other people. And I was like, I cannot think of anything traumatic that's happened to me that's going to come up. Like, I was like, this could be, like I said, complete bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of, like, nervous, but also I was like, this could be, like, bullshit. But at this point, it's got to be better than what's going on inside my head. Like,
exactly.
It's got to be better.
Yeah.
But I remember coming in here and, like, my whole session, like, well, let's rewind. At my intake, you were, like, asking me about things. And I remember, like, I just could not stop crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so embarrassed. Because I was always this prideful person. I was like, you don't need to cry. There's no reason to cry. Took pride in not crying. And I remember I couldn't even speak without just, like, crying. And then after that, we did the hypnotherapy. And I remember a lot of the session, like, was spent with tears.
Yeah.
Like, I cried a lot. And you're like, that's just, like, your emotion, like, coming out.
Yes. All that suppressed emotion was dying to get out. It was like bubbling at the surface. And that's why you were crying even at your intake, because it was just, it's like, that's your indicator. It's dying to get out. Let it out, you know?
Yeah. And then I remember telling you this after the fact, like, it was like you could feel the energy shift in the room during it. And I told you before, and I always tell people, I was like, this sounds crazy, but it's like there was, like, this ball, like, bouncing in my hands, like, while I was sitting there, and it just felt like light, you know? And I was like, I don't know.
Yep.
And I remember telling you that, and I was like, you probably think I'm crazy, but...
No, I say that too. I tell everybody that you're going to feel lighter, because literally these emotions, these big, heavy emotions that we just keep shoving down, you hold that in your body. You hold that in your body. It's not gone. When you shove it down like that, it's still there, except it's just getting bigger, because it wants you to take a look at it, right? And then when you have a session where your subconscious is brilliant, it's telling you everything you need to know. It's like, hey, look at this memory, look at this memory, look at this memory. This is what you've got to let go of. This is what you've got to realize about yourself. When you get that, and then when you process all of that, like we do in session, you know, we don't let it sit there. We process all of it. We take care of it, and then we let it go. And then when you let it go, I felt the shift like that. Like, everything was lighter. Everything was so much better.
Oh, for sure.
The tears were out. The emotions were out. And it was really beautiful. You did fantastic. You really did. You have to be... Hypnotherapy is an inclusive thing. There's not a switch I can turn in your head that makes you not want to do that ever again. It's actually you getting to the root of why you do what you do, and it's you letting it go, and it's you making that decision to let it go, because I can't make you let it go. You make that decision, and then when you let it go, it's your decision after you leave here to do all the things that you've said you've been doing. And you are self-aware, and in the moment, you realize and recognize when those old emotions are creeping back in, and you see them for what they are, and then you decide to do something else with that emotion instead of the old pattern of behavior.
And I always tell people, I'm like, it gave me all, I was like, everything I needed was inside me all along.
Yes.
Like, it was. But she helped me find that and gave me the tools. And I still, like, to this, like, use in the transformation. So, and what, I had a session in February.
Yes.
It is, what, October, almost over.
Yes.
Like, to this day, I still listen to the transformation. It, like, I know if I'm feeling, like, some type of way. Because, like, I think I used to tell you, like, if I was going to have one of these episodes of, like, binge eating or being out of control, it's like I could wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, it's going to be a day. And if I ever feel like that, or I'm frustrated, or like something, even like a sliver of those feelings come, what do? I throw the transformation on. Mm-hmm. And then I'll text you later. I'm like, hey, listen, like I listened to that and I did this, and that was amazing because old me wouldn't have done that. You know, like
Exactly.
wouldn't have responded that way or handled the situation that way. So you gave me all these tools on how to, I guess, like process emotion
Yes.
and to not partake in like self-destructive behavior.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I think the misconception is about hypnotherapy. And I think even some hypnotherapists would like to say, yeah, I can flip a switch in your head. I will never, ever be that one. I will always be the one like, yes, this is absolutely all within you and you can unlock it. You just have to be willing. Go with me as I guide you through this. But you are actually doing all of the work. You are doing all of the transformation. You know, it was all you. And you took it and ran with it. And you're my favorite clients because, you know, I have clients who are like you, who are ready for that change, actually do the work. They do the work. It's not, you can't be passive about your healing. It doesn't just happen for you. Like, you have to want it. You've got to do the work. And that's exactly what you did.
And it like evolves over time because
yes,
I remember like when I first had my session with you, I was like, this will never be anything that I talk about. I was like, I will never like openly admit to people that I had an eating disorder. Like, that's so embarrassing. Mm-hmm. And then like as time would pass and like I guess like the healing came, like I used to would tell people, I'm like, I did hypnotherapy, it changed my life. And then I had somebody one day, they're like what exactly did you do it for? And I was like, listen, I'll tell you. And I was like, I used to say I would never speak about this. I think I once told you, I was like, I'll never like get online and talk about it or anything. But I'm like, now I've, I guess, moved past that and like grown so much that I'm like, why be embarrassed of something when that could help somebody?
Absolutely.
And that's my thing. I'm like, there's no need to be like, was it a good time in my life? Absolutely not. But to like look back and be like, oh my gosh, like I've grown so much, like I can actually speak about it, like that's a big deal for me.
Yeah. I mean, and it is a huge deal because I have a lot of clients that have huge transformations and they don't want to do this because they don't want people to know that they have that issue. And that's totally fine. You know, everybody's allowed their anonymity. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I'm so proud of the people that can step forward and be like, hey, it was really messy for me, but I got better and you can too. Listen to my story. And that's really important. And I know someone is going to see this that's going to be like, oh, I thought my life was just going to be that way forever too. Maybe not. You're going to give them that sliver of hope. And you were proud to say, hey, look what I did. And I'm proud of you for doing that. Yeah, you're amazing. So in your session, we uncovered some powerful memories, like feeling betrayed and disrespected. What did you realize about yourself in those moments?
That I used to take a lot of shit from a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me like draw this boundary, I guess, that is like, and I had conversations like with people before, like after my session. I'm like, I've worked so hard to get here emotionally. Like, this is a big thing for me.
Yes.
Like, I will not take crap from like anybody at this point. And I was like, I've worked so hard and I don't care who you are. Like, I will not let anybody like disrupt that.
Right.
Just because of like the inner growth that I've had. And I used to be like, maybe like I think I've had all this like growth and like blossoming and turning into this and that. But I have people all the time. They're like, oh my gosh, like you look so happy. Like you act like so much differently, like in a positive way. Like you have so much confidence. Like I wish I had that, like this and that. And they're like, you are a different person than you were like this time last year. Or even like what, 8, 9, 10 months ago. They're like, you can tell like you look better, you act better, you know.
Yeah, because that's when you actually really love yourself and you have confidence in yourself, you don't have to say or do anything. It just radiates from you.
Yeah, I don't
People
have
just
to
see it.
Constantly be like, oh, I love myself. Like, I'm so cool, this and that.
Yeah.
Like, now people are like, you're awesome. And I'm like, thanks.
Yes.
Like, and in my mind, I'm like, I know. But not in a conceited way. It's more like having the confidence to be like, oh, hey, like, yeah, I did that. Like, that's awesome.
You should be proud of yourself. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no humility here. We're just proud of ourselves here. And that's
exactly.
okay. We're allowed to do that. You're allowed to know that you're a badass for all the things that you did, because that wasn't easy. That shit's not easy. So you should absolutely toot your horn, sister. Toot toot, because because you did something amazing, and you should be absolutely proud of that.
Yeah.
So during session, and you can talk about your scenes if you want to. We don't have to. I'm going to leave that up to you. But what in any of those scenes did you realize something about yourself? Like, do you remember a moment where you really remembered or noticed something about yourself?
Like,
So in one scene where you felt so disrespected, like, did that like make you realize this is a pattern in my life?
Oh, for sure. Okay, so a lot of these, like, a lot of the scenes that came back were bad relationships.
Yes.
Okay, like, to be honest.
Yes.
Like, shitty relationships. Okay, so with that goes hand in hand, like, a lot of these eating patterns came from being in a shitty relationship. So, like, when I came to you, I was in a shitty relationship that I had already tried once. And me, being me, one of the times when I was previously with this partner, I had an eating disorder that was rampant, out of control. Like, no support from that person.
Yes.
And it just made it worse. Okay. To make a long story short, got rid of the person. Well, like, you know, like, the disordered eating habits kind of like pulled back. Okay. So I was like, oh, like, let's do that. Let's try this shit again. Stupid. Well, guess what? Get back into the relationship. The habits pick back up.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of it would go like hand in hand with me being in shitty relationships.
Yes.
Or even like like one of my scenes was a shitty friendship.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, and it's not like I emotionally like rely on all these people, but like obviously like as humans, like you want a companion or like you want a friend. And when you build relationships with people and they hurt you.
Yes.
And for me, that's what was triggering my habits. So.
And that's the journey, I think, just in life, because those scenes were trying to tell you a story. They were trying to tell you that pattern that you have. Like, you felt disrespected in this relationship, and you felt disrespected in this relationship and this one. So let's not lean on these people for you to value yourself, you know? So you're feeling disrespected because you feel like they don't value you, but they're really the whole time you were giving out that energy of I'm not enough.
Yeah.
And that's why you were attracting those people into your life, to show you that I'm going to disrespect you because you don't value yourself. And I can feel that. You know, these are all unspoken things. It's all energy, right? But you were kind of attracting those relationships and to show you this, hey, this is what you're thinking about and feeling about yourself. So this is what you're going to get. And I feel like once you realize that those relationships, those overwhelming emotions, that overwhelming emotion of being disrespected, what lies underneath that is, you know, I'm not enough. And that's why they don't value me. Am I right? So once you realize, hey, well, that's not fucking true.
Yeah. Got rid of the
That's
problem
not
real
true.
fast.
Exactly.
It took RTT for me to grab a hold of my eating disorder and to quit letting people treat me like
Right,
shit.
exactly. To get that power
Like,
back.
it was like the confidence. I was like, okay, like after I was like with you, you know, I let the relationship linger for like a couple weeks, but I was like, I am like that bitch, and like I'm not gonna let anybody treat me like shit. Like, I don't need this.
Exactly.
And as soon as I, you know, had the growth from the RTT and like got rid of like dead weight in my life, it was like I had already had progress, but it's like the progress like skyrocketed.
Exactly.
Like, it was amazing. Like, you couldn't tell me anything. I felt so great.
Yes.
Like, so confident, like so in touch like with myself and my emotions and like processing things and accepting things. And other relationships or like friendships in my life were like, dang, like, what'd you do? Like, you're happy.
Exactly.
You know, like.
Because even, and I will say, with my clients, I do the transformation recording, and you guys listen to it for 21 to 30 days after your session. And then you come in for a follow-up at that 30 days, and that's where we kind of gauge your progress and how you've done. Now, when you came in for your 30 days, I knew something was still wrong, but you were trying to reassure me that you were great, that you were doing so much better. Like, I think you did feel that shift, but you still had that baggage that you knew was not good for you.
Yeah.
And I knew that's what was going on, but I wasn't going to say it. I'm like, she'll say it when she's ready. And that's why I said, I'm here for you. Reach out if you need me. And you're like, I'm good. And the whole time you've got your eyes, you're trying very hard not to cry.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like choking on my words.
Yes. I was just like, okay, well, if she's not ready to tell me, I'm not going to force her, and I'm not going to call her out. It will just come. So you left, and it was a couple of weeks after that, you got rid of that baggage. And I am so happy you did, because that's exactly what you needed to do.
Oh, and it was like I was having success like in my life prior to that, but after that, like when I had that moment like of self-realization, like that I was like, I'm better than the way that I was like acting, like accepting this, what I thought was, I guess, love maybe.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm better than all this, and got rid of that, and just like got comfortable with myself and what I had done. Like, it was just like, oh my gosh, this is what I needed. And like my success was just even better.
Yep.
Like, I remember being at work, and like my like patients and like coworkers were like, you just like, you're glowing, like you look great, like you're happy. Like, and I remember my boss, she was like, you just act like you enjoy being here a little bit more, you know? And I was like, yeah, like I'm great, like this is awesome, you know?
Yeah.
And
because you're not carrying around all that heavy emotional stuff in your head. You've got space. You've got space for life.
And I tell everybody, I'm like, it was more than me just like overcoming an eating disorder. I was like, it was just like a whole emotional like turning point for me, like in everything.
Yes.
And just the way that I looked at things, and like trying to always find the positive, like in a situation, like, and I don't know, that's what I tell people. I'm like, it was more than just handling like one issue. It was just like emotional growth overall.
Yes.
I was like, and that's what I love about it.
Yes. And that's what makes you such a phenomenal client, because you're the exact representation of what hypnotherapy can do for somebody. Because once you let go of something that's weighing you down so much, like that feeling of being disrespected and that I'm not enough, you know, it was weighing so hard in your life. Like, it was really coming out in really toxic ways, like the binge eating, right? So when you let something like that go, you create space. You create space for more clarity, for more intuition, for being able to get in alignment with who you really are.
Yes.
So much easier. And that alone, just that feeling alone, all that space that you've got now, it's just like everything seems so much better.
Oh, yeah.
It just kind of follows suit with you letting go of all that old garbage.
Yes.
If you think back to February versus now and how far you've come.
Chewy. Oh, boy.
How would you rate that experience?
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
No, great. Yeah. Because I really, really thought like something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
Like, which there was, but I was just like,
that's the thing. We think we are broken forever.
Yeah, that is no shit what I thought. I was like, this is my life. Like, I'm going to sit here and accept bullshit from people just because I'm not good enough to get the love that I'm worthy of. I was like, I'm forever going to hate like the way that I look, like, and like emotionally, I was like, I hate that part about myself. I was like, I felt crazy.
Yes.
Like stuff like that. And I was like, this is literally like who I am. Like, what the hell? I was like, where does this come from? I was like, why am I like this?
Yep.
And that's what I thought. I was like, this is my life. Like, this is so, and you know, not to like, I would like feel sorry for myself. Like, this is my life. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm sitting here doing this and not trying to fix it, you know, but
lost on how to fix it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I thought that I was like, this is my forever now. Great. This is such a great life. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And a lot of people think that, like, you're not alone in that. Like, I thought that too. When I was an addict, on the streets, nowhere to go, I thought, oh my God, this is not me. Did you feel like that too? Like, this is not me.
Yeah. I was like, I'm more
Like,
than this.
yes,
but I
there's-
don't know how to get there. type thing.
Exactly. Like, oh my God, this is not me. What the fuck? Why am I here? How did I get here? And it's that makes you, when you do the work,
Yeah.
like everything flips. So, you did the same thing. We just decided to let it go, found out what the problem was and let it go.
Yeah.
And then you just start building and you start working and things just get better and better and better. Right?
Yeah. And it just sprouts into this beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That you never knew was coming. Because let me tell you, my life now compared to like this time last year, or even in February, like I was like,
Yes.
it would not be like this. Like,
Yep.
I don't know where I would be, but it wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And I would probably be very sad and not my true self.
Yeah,
Put it that way.
exactly. You would still be attracting those toxic relationships and emotions yeah. So what would you say to someone who's where you were struggling with the binge eating, feeling out of control and just not loving themselves?
That this is not forever.
Yeah.
Even though it feels like it,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you couldn't have told me then that wasn't how my life was going to be. Because I really was like, this is how it is.
Yeah.
But it did get better. It felt like it took forever for it. Like I was like that forever.
Yeah.
For it to turn. But I was like, that's what I'd say. I'm like, this is not forever. This is just a chapter. I don't know how long it will be.
Yeah.
But
Get RTT.
yeah, do something.
Okay. What's something you've learned about your self-worth during this journey?
Oh, that your self-worth comes from within.
Yes.
And I always tell people, I'm like, I even tell like my parents this, because like my parents are not my parents. My father is like, you're so zen. Like, if really we lived in this utopian society like this and that. And I'm like, okay, for one, that's my reality.
Yes.
And I'm like, as long as I'm good with myself, I always say this. I say, if I'm good with myself and I'm good with God, like nothing else matters. And that's kind of like what I live by. Like I'm okay with like my decisions.
Yeah.
I'm okay with my choices. I'm okay with the way I feel. Like no outside opinion's going to affect that, because I truly accept myself and the person that I am.
Yeah.
And that goes for like anybody.
Yes.
Anyone that throws like negative comments or like mean, hateful things to me, I'm like, cool. You can feel that way, but like at the end of the day, like I know I'm a badass.
Yep.
Like, so.
And you are.
Yeah.
And that's anybody. Like none of us are perfect. Like what's perfect anyway? That's just in the eye of the beholder, is it not? Like everybody has a different perspective on that. But none of us are meant to be perfect. None of us. We're always meant to grow and experience and grow and experience and grow. And finding that self-worth and that love in yourself, it's just like there's nothing more valuable.
And there are like times when I have like self-doubt. Everybody does. Like I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect. I'm okay all the time. Like that, like like demon creeps in sometimes. It's kind of like, oh, like you're not good enough. But like I think about this in my transformation. You were like champions, and like especially like in the realm of like bodybuilding, you will be so hard on yourself. You will pick yourself apart. You will think you're not good enough. You'll think you're not big enough. You're not lean enough. This and that. But and you're like, you have to embrace every phase. And I tell myself that sometimes, or like in my transformation, you're like, champions do not waste time on self-doubt. I think that's how it went. Yeah. And that's like what I replay to myself. And then there was another line in there. It was, what exactly did it say? It was like, God does not make mistakes and you are a creation of God.
That's
and
right.
I'm like that. Yeah. And I think I've like posted that before. And I'm like, that is like the best thing. Like you're right. He does not make mistakes and you are a creation of him.
That's right.
And I was like, you just need those little like reminders.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like we all do. Even I do. I absolutely feel the same way as you. Like, for the most part, I believe in myself. I believe in me. I believe in what I do. But I have those moments too, especially being a mom, a single mom. You know, am I doing it right?
Yeah.
You know, am I doing my job right? Am I doing, I just, it happens for everybody. But having that good, strong foundation of I am worthy, I am valuable, and leading with that before anything else. That other noise that creeps in sometimes gets quieter and quieter.
Yeah, and that's what you taught me. You were like, you learn how to like pivot. Like I always tell you, like, listen, like this went on, but I did this, and you're like, yeah, like you learn to pivot out of that instead of old me would spiral down into that,
Right.
go down that rabbit hole and like have this whole negative, like negative actions, negative feelings, like this and that, and like
Right.
now I'm like, okay, like let's stop for a second, become self-aware, realize what we're doing, like be like, okay, this is actually the reality. And as you would say, you're like, that's your negative ego speaking.
It is.
And I'm like, that's not real. That is not real.
Exactly.
Like what's real is how you feel. And I'm going to tell you that you feel like a badass and you are a badass. And like the way you talk to yourself matters.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like that's what gets me through sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm having a shitty day. And I'm like, no, like you get to do this. Like you get to wake up and go to work today. Like some people can't go to work. Like you get to exercise today. Like some people aren't in an able body.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think the power of how you talk to yourself and how you think about yourself like matters.
You just make me so proud.
I love it.
You really do. So what does life feel like now in your body, in your mind, in your heart, compared to before hypnosis? Which I feel like you've talked on that pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, I feel like my heart is maybe not as angry.
Yeah.
Like I used to be, which sometimes like I get irritated and stuff, but now I'm like, can let go. But I used to be like angry all the time.
Yeah.
Like more or less, like very like short fuse, like triggered easily. But now I'm like, I'm allowed to feel that way. Or I can have a like say I disagree with somebody, it's not going to be like, screw this, I'm not talking about this, whatever. Like you can think what you want. Like now, like I want to talk stuff to death. I'm like, okay, like let's discuss this. I'm like, yes, like you're allowed to feel this way. Like your feelings are valid, but also my feelings are valid. And I really try and think of stuff from like other people's perspective, or maybe like the way they were brought up in a situation. Like, cause everybody's not raised this. It gave me like a more understanding of other people, I guess, instead of having like this one track mind of like, you're right, nothing else is right. Like the way that you think is only the right way to think.
Right.
Kind of very close-minded, I guess.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does.
And just willing to, like assess emotions, or like I said, be upset about stuff. Like, oh, this hurt my feelings. Like, it's okay to cry about it. Like, shed a few tears, process it, whatever, move on. And then like, I kind of forget about it, rather than in a different way of forgetting it, trying to forget about it and never deal with it.
Right. Well, when that negative ego is in control and it's the one running all of the thoughts, and you have no self-awareness of who you really are, right? So that negative ego is going to say, it's the critical talker, right? It's the one telling you all the things that you don't like and all the things that make you feel miserable and all the, you're not good enough. You're not doing this right. You should be doing this differently. Oh, look at that person. They disrespected you. Look what they said to you. You should feel this way about it. That is the negative ego. So when you are able to step away from that, because every thought that comes in isn't true.
Yes.
Right? So every thought that comes in is not a fact. So you get to decide if you want to subscribe to that thought or not.
That's what you said. You said a thought is just a thought. It is not the truth.
Exactly.
And that's something else I tell myself, like when I'm having these like negative thoughts about myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, a thought is a thought. That does not make it true.
Right.
Like,
it is just a thought. You are not the thought. You are the awareness behind the thought.
Yes.
So your awareness, your consciousness gets to decide if that is true for you or not. People who are self-aware of that put that into practice. People who are not self-aware of that, think that every thought that comes in is true. It's got to be true. And it's usually thoughts from the negative ego. Because it's trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you safe. It doesn't want you to get your feelings hurt anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what it's trying to do, but it does it in a very toxic way. So the point is just come back into the self-awareness of who you are, who you really are, not that negative ego, and decide if you really align with that thought. And if it doesn't feel good, then it's not you. It's not who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you learned that, because that's crucial in knowing who you are and having a good mindset.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like now too, I have like a sense of if stuff set, like you said, alignment, like if stuff sets well with me or not, or just like situations set well, like, cause used to, I would have like that little like voice in the back of my head that was like, this isn't it. But I would just still go for it.
Yeah.
Type thing. And now I'm kind of like, if I have any form of doubt about a certain situation or a thought, or I'm like, maybe I should have looked at it this way, or maybe I should have looked at it that way. Like I'll do that rather than just, like straight and narrow, nothing else matters. Like only that, So.
Yes. So now that you've gotten through, the biggest part of your journey, and you're doing so much better mentally and emotionally, and I know things have changed for you.
Yeah.
So when you gain that self-love for yourself, that's what you attract instead. So now you are in an extremely loving, beautiful relationship.
It's the best thing in the world. I love it.
And I love it for you. I'm so happy because you are so deserving. You deserve it so much. And I'm so happy. So just talk a little bit about that, like how things have changed for you and how, in that aspect of your life.
Well, now I have a partner or a girlfriend, I guess. Yeah. So like around here, that's kind of like taboo, it's a very conservative community, this and that, whatever. Yeah. I was raised in like a conservative household, but like aside from that, like that was something I was always like interested in, and I guess I accepted that of myself, but I kind of not necessarily like feared the judgment of others, but was always worried like what people would say. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it was like the transformation, like specifically, but it helped me like gain, like you said, like step into your true self.
Yeah.
And like now, like that's the best thing I ever done was like accept love from somebody, no matter who they are, like from someone, and be in a relationship that's actually like a partnership that's like filled with love, like not with like anger or hate or like anything negative. And this is like the first time, and I tell like people this, like this is the first time I've ever been in a relationship and not had that little voice in the back of my head that's like, something's all right. Mm-hmm. And I am right where I need to be. And like that's what I tell people. I'm like, everything leading up to this makes sense as to why it didn't work out. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I am exactly where I need to be. And no one can tell me that like what I'm doing is wrong or can disagree with it. I'm like, listen, like, honey, I'll tell everybody.
Yeah.
Like that's something to be embarrassed about for me. Like I'm in love and I love to be loved. Like, and it's great. And I remember like talking to you about it. And you're just like, oh my gosh, like look at you. Like I see it. You're like, I see it.
Yes. You were glowing and I loved it.
And it's nice too, because I dated her before my transformation.
Yeah.
And then like we reconnected like after.
Yes.
So like she has seen like I guess both sides of me. Mm-hmm. And like I remember one of the first times like we reconnected, she was like, you've just like had so much. She's like, you're just so different. And I was like, you think so? And she was like, yeah. I was like, well, like let me tell you about something I've done. And like I tell her all the time, I was like, that was like the best thing that I've ever done. And she tells me all the time, she's like, you've grown and evolved like so much, like emotionally, and like you're such a good person. And I see the growth like every single day. And it's not like, oh, hey, I want you to tell me that you see that I'm doing good. Like she tells me that, and like she sees that, and she sees like the difference it's made in me as a person, like emotionally, and stuff like that. So it's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
It's beautiful.
Oh my God, I love it. So I want to thank you for sharing this. I mean, it was beautiful. I loved it. I know other people are going to love it. And Your story is going to resonate with so many people. I know
hope
it
so.
is. Oh, I know it is. So is there anything else that you want to share about your message with our listeners here? Is there anything that you can think of that
It's worth, like, doing this is worth, I guess, it wasn't uncomfortable for me, but it was like kind of out of my norm.
Right.
So it's worth taking the leap to try something that you're not familiar with or that you've never done. Because, I mean, shit you not, like, I would still be in the same place that I was months ago if I would not have done. And that's what I tell everybody. I was like, I don't, like, the money doesn't matter, like, the circumstances do not matter, like, it is worth it. And I will tell everybody, I'm like, it is worth your time.
Yeah.
Like, it might sound abnormal, but it is worth your time and your effort because it will change your life. And I'm like, that is why I am who I am
Yes.
today, like, because I've done that.
Yeah.
So it's worth all of it, all the time, everything.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, my love.
You're so
for
welcome.
being here.
Thank you for what you do.
Yeah,
because
thank you.
it is a beautiful thing, and I'm sure I know it's changed my life.
Yeah.
And I know other people who have done it, and it's helped them tremendously.
Yeah.
So thank you for what you do, because I thought I was going to be stuck forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm so proud of you. You're just so good. Thank you.
You're awesome. Wow, what do you have?
I love you. Thank you.